Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to Thursday, November 25th, 2021. This Day Weather Podcast brought to you by Chugwater Chili, the gourmet spice of Western life. Get ready for some holiday discounts. They just keep on coming. You want to go to chugwaterchili.com this week. Holiday discount number 4 is 20% off of all Chugwater Chili products at chugwaterchili.com. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Well, no major weather systems Friday through Monday. We do have a weak system Friday night that'll produce a few snow showers up in the mountains of the region, and really that'll be all. Otherwise, it'll be sunny and cool on this Thanksgiving Day. Pretty windy. We're going to have to deal with the wind. But we do have good travel weather for the most part through Monday. There is another fast-moving system on Tuesday that may produce, again, another little shot of mountain snow, a few snow showers in the plains, but it really doesn't look like much. The first shot of the colder weather we've been talking about is going to arrive right around December 3rd. That's next Friday or Saturday. It's going to be the first shot across the bow. It's not going to be the big wave, but it's the best way to describe it. It's kind of like a leaky dam. There's still a dam up there holding all that really, really cold air. There'll be a little leak in the dam, sending some colder air in late next week and next weekend. It'll be the shot across the bow. The larger cold air mass comes after that, likely sometime in the week of 12/6 and thereafter is when we do see the real cold weather for the lower 48 states starting to get better established. So we still don't have, really frankly, much weather to talk about through next Thursday other than these weak little systems moving on through. It gets a lot more interesting by next Friday and then after that time frame. Today's satellite photo shows that most of the weather in terms of unsettled Thanksgiving weather is along this frontal boundary here where there's some areas of rain up in the Great Lakes in New England. There's going to be a little bit of snow, nothing that's really major, but this is where most of the weather of any consequence this Thanksgiving Day is going to be. And you can see over the west some high clouds moving in with the next Pacific wave, but really not much going on. So you can see that west to east flow. There's the trough going into the Great Lakes, and that Greenland block continues to sit up there. So that's why systems are coming in and kind of dovetailing into the Great Lakes in New England because of that block. As we go forward, this is for tomorrow night. See this little dip? This little wave is going to produce some snow showers in the mountains of the northern and central Rockies, but that's it. Just a few flurries, but what it'll do is it'll keep a rather brisk wind flow across the area. Saturday is also going to be just a hair cooler. So today will be warmer, Friday warmer, Saturday a little cooler, but then it's just going to warm up again Sunday and Monday. Now, one thing I want to show you, you may have been hearing news reports about flooding in British Columbia and parts of Washington state. Well, this very strong northern Pacific jet stream, which is a very typical La Nina pattern. It's also the time of year. The jet stream in the North Pacific really gets strong. But all it takes for places like western and southwest British Columbia and the Pacific Northwest to get really wet is just bring in strong jet stream winds across the North Pacific and have those winds hit the land masses, basically hit the mountains of the Pacific Northwest and British Columbia. Now what I'm showing you are basically the jet stream winds, and anywhere you see these brighter colors, you're talking about really, really strong jet stream winds. So just imagine the amount of water from Korea and Japan all the way across the Pacific getting directed and really focused right in British Columbia and parts of the Pacific Northwest. So we have this just a really strong jet stream wind west to east driving very wet air into those areas. And hence you're going to have some big snows in the Pacific Northwest as well as the mountains of British Columbia. Look at that. Just driving in some big, big snows. Also southeast Alaska as well. And then out on the plains, then into the Great Lakes. I'm showing you a map that goes out to the next 10 days. Some of that moisture overruns the Arctic air up here, and you're going to continue to build your snow fields up here in the northern latitudes. But look at the Great Lakes here in New England. As we get to the end of next week and everything else, it's just going to start to get a little bit more like winter. But I'm showing you some pretty far northern latitudes. As you take a look at the precipitation, look at that focus of that really heavy precipitation right in that mountainous terrain of Washington, far northwest Oregon, then into British Columbia. As the jet stream sags further south, you'll start to see some of that heavier moisture starting to get pushed into here later on in the forecast period. as the jet stream begins to buckle. Now this is by next Tuesday. Here's that little wave again. Again, it doesn't look like much, does it? It won't be much, but there might be a little bit of weather with this system, especially up in the mountains. But the general pattern continues to be west to east. As we get into next Friday, this is for Friday afternoon, a week from this Friday, we have the first salvo of cold air. There's going to be a chunk of that colder air getting slid in to along the front range of the northern and central Rockies, then into the northern plains and Great Lakes. So there'll be a pretty good pocket of cold air and a little bit of light snow with this system. But the real cold air is still up here with these low pressure systems, and this little wave right here is going to build up a little bit of a high pressure ridge right behind it. So when I say it's going to be the first shot across the bow, what I mean is we'll have a shot of colder weather come in next Friday and Saturday and into next weekend, followed by a very brief warm-up, and then as we go further out, here we go. We see the establishment of a broad area of low pressure and a large pool of colder air that's going to be extending across the Canadian provinces, across really the entire width and breadth of North America. So this is the 10th of December. So it's going to take a while to get established, but that first shot across the bow is the 3rd and 4th of December. And then the door opens to Canada, and the high pressure ridges that we've been talking about, so important, the placement of these high pressure ridges for the lower 48 to get cold, they continue to show up in the modeling. As long as we continue to see that pattern where there's high pressure ridges anchored in the North Atlantic and the Eastern Pacific, that basically bottles up the cold and directs it across the land masses. Europe gets it. Also, it gets over here on the other side of the globe into parts of Asia and Russia. And you can see that the warmest, best weather is actually over the ocean basins. So what ends up happening is all the interesting weather, the stormy weather, shifts to the continents. And that's really going to be true all across the northern hemisphere as we get further on into the month of December. We're not there yet. It's hurry up and wait, really, to see all these changes. So all we're really looking at between now and the end of next week are these small little systems, and then these larger scale changes. Well, we'll see what happens. Have yourself a great Thanksgiving. Have a safe one. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have yourself a good holiday.